So, let's make some jewellery. Hello, it's Icy. I am back with more of the Summerset Isles for Elder Scrolls Online. This time we're looking at jewellery crafting. So, this is on the public test server on the 4.0.0 release. I am in the Hundig's Rage crafting cavern in the Rift with a Summerset template character. And we are at the jewellery crafting station. Now I have raided the template character's rings and jewellery in order to deconstruct some things. So you deconstruct jewellery in exactly the same way as you would deconstruct anything else. Double click, hit R, or whatever controls you use for your controller. There are skills associated with this craft. We have a new jewellery crafting skill line. So 5 levels of engraving. So that lets you make the levels of rings associated with your level. So CP 160 rings are at engraver 5. Keen eye for jewellery. So that allows you to see seams, which are the jewellery crafting resource nodes in the world. Jewellery extraction. So basically when you deconstruct, this gives you the best chance of getting trait materials or improving materials from deconstructing jewellery. Laboratory research for up to 4, so reduces the research timer by 25%, limits the top timer to 30 days. I will have a link below, or possibly just the numbers, to Inkling's tweet that shows the total research time for everything, which I'll talk about a little bit later. Plating's expertise. So this improves. This allows you to use less materials when you improve the quality of items. So going from white to green to blue to purple to gold. So they're the skill points already unlocked on this character. So we've just deconstructed some things. Alright, let's look at improvement. Now I do have some items in my bank which I could improve. So we've got some, actually no, first we better refine them. So I have these bits in here. This I've picked up purely from deconstructing the rings and jewellery that were in the boxes on this character. So as per normal, we're just going to refine it like this. That's it. Just refining that stuff. Now we have completed antinomy, however you say that. So this is for the healthy trait. Cobalt is for the magic trait. Now, I've only deconstructed healthy and magic rings so far. I've not deconstructed any stamina rings, but you'll note I've still got a few little bits of that. So as you deconstruct things, there is a chance you'll get something from one of the other traits. Now, the zircon grains, these need to be refined to create your improvement materials. So in the same way as the rest of the crafting trees, I'll need 4 purple materials to improve a blue one up to purple. So we've got 8 of those. So let's go back to the improvement. So we're going to improve this necklace. So you'll see it says it cannot be deconstructed. That's because it was picked up before Summerset Isles. So now we've got, so there we go, we're up to 4. So let's improve that just like this. You can select less. If you select less, you have a chance to use, there's still like a 75% chance to improve it. Now, as per normal, you can see you're going to need 8 gold platings to increase that level up to gold. So you would be able to get those from gold mats, come from places like deconstructing gold jewellery. Very expensive way to get it. And refining seams. So refining the raw materials that you get from seams. There might be other places, but that's probably it for the moment. It's going to be really hard to make gold jewellery. But if you, like me, are doing, for example, normal trials and you have blue quality jewellery, And veteran trials are probably beyond you, at least for quite a while. Getting better, but not that good yet. Maybe this is the way to go. So for improving your blue jewellery up to purple, it's probably not worthwhile necessarily going all the way to gold unless you know that set is absolutely the one for you. Alright, let's try making. Let's make some jewellery. So as I said, we're at the Hundig's Rage. So to make a CP 150 ring, 10 platinum ounces. To make a CP 160, we need 100 platinum ounces. Now, from deconstructing all of the rings that I've just deconstructed, and it was probably like rings and jewellery, probably, I don't know, 60 or 70, 80 maybe, I've gotten this much back. So look, over time, you're going to be, just from deconstructing rings that drop around the world, you are going to be able to make enough base materials to do that. So, traits. Now, we've just refined some cobalt. We've refined some healthy trait. We have not any zinc, but we could if I wanted to go through the process of deconstructing all the rest of those rings I've got. So, Dawn Prism. This is the one that you get from places. I'll have a link below as well to the rest of the information on the public test server, or at least the specific information. This will drop in places in Summerset. This is the Infused, which comes from somewhere else, which names escape me. Detective. Okay, this comes from trials. Dungeons. So you might get this in the Undaunted reward boxes. I'm pretty sure this one comes from the Psijic portals that appear around the world, and from killing Psijic boss type things. The Harmony trait comes from trials, and the Bloodthirsty trait comes from AP Cyrodiil. So we might actually go and have a look at that as well at the end of the video. See if we can go and see how much AP it costs if it shows us. So anyway, what we're doing here is we're going to make a Arcane Ring of Hundig's Rage. Let's do it. And CP 160. So, now that has used quite a bit. The other thing I think is going to be quite useful maybe for these is making white versions of these as for your training armor. So I can see that it's probably worthwhile making a new character for Summerset, having them level, deconstructing all of the low level rings that they get, and then then using that to make jewellery for your training armor. I think that's probably going to be quite a valid use, except for the fact that you're going to need to know 6 traits if you want to make it for Hundig's Rage. There's a couple of other standard training sets that only need a few traits, and maybe they're the ones that you go with. So certainly for stamina tunes, it's like Hundig's Rage and Night Silence, both of which are 6 trait armors. So I think the Magic is Julianos and Seducers, and I think Seducers is a 3 trait armor. Maybe that's an option. That could be quite helpful. So anyway, so we've just made, you can make no set stuff. Don't waste it. Don't waste your gear making no trait stuff. So let's go and explore a few other things, and we'll come back in a minute. Okay, we're back. We're in Cyrodiil. I am, of course, EP for life. So I'm at the South Morrowind Gate, and I'm the War Researcher, who's just here.
If you trust your life to it.
As you can see, I can buy Slaughterstone for 100,000 AP. Now, if you don't regularly PvP or do Battlegrounds, that will seem like a lot. It's not an impossible amount to get. I've been given some free AP here. I mean, I PvP semi-regularly, and I probably have more than enough to buy a bunch of them, I would say. So I believe also though you're going to get small bits of it, bits of AP, bits of the dust to make the Bloodthirsty from the reward boxes in PvP as well, and that you'll be able to refine that to make a whole Bloodthirsty thing as well. So it's not the end of the world if you don't have that AP. Either pay somebody who does PvP or jump in and have a go. It's fun. There are other videos on this channel that go through AP farming for people who don't enjoy PvP. So do check those out if you need this stone. Okay, so let's do one last thing. Okay, it's two last things actually. This is the first one. So we are with Rollislalu, outside Dashan, and this is the gilding wax. So these are what we would require for changing your, now it says armor trait, but it is actually talking about jewelry. So let's just get a couple of those. And so we have one infused, we have one bloodthirsty trait. We have two of the gilding wax, and we're off to do the last thing. See you shortly. Okay, and I'm back with what I think is the last thing. As you can see, we're at the Transmute station in Clockwork City. You can buy these for a lot of Rit points if you don't have access to Clockwork City, but do ask around. You might find somebody who has one in a guild trading store, trading guild house that can lend it to you. So let's transmute some jewelry. Okay, so we have this automatum necklace that we've just transmuted. Let's try transmuting this to something else. So we picked up a few of the traits. We didn't need it for the transmuting, you just have to have it researched. The test character already has all these traits researched, so if you're testing on a new character, you'll have to research it yourself, or of course in the live game when it arrives. So let's have a look. So it's currently robust, so we can transmute it to Arcane, that's fine, which will give a lot more flexibility, I think, for builds, where some sets you kind of go, well, actually, I do want a bit of Magicka on there. Healthy, that could be very useful. So if you've got an existing stamina or Magicka set and you want to transmute something to healthy, Triune gives you health, Magicka, and stamina. Now, you'll note it's actually pretty good. So each of these individually give you 840 for a secondary, so a magic or a stamina. Healthy gives you an extra 900. Now Triune, between the three of them, actually gives you more. So that gives you, it means your health is slightly less, but you get an extra free stat. It could be totally worthwhile just transmuting all of your jewelry to Triune. So 840, so you're actually getting one free stat out of these. It's completely worthwhile. If you're a Magicka, if you're a healthy focused character like a tank, maybe not, especially if your jewelry is all healthy, maybe not the best, could be still, but Triune, that's really, really good. Yeah, that's fantastic, actually. Okay, so Infused. So this is improving your enchantment effectiveness by 50%. So this has got a stamina recovery enchantment on here. So other enchantments you can put on jewelry, weapon damage, spell damage, recoveries, reduce cost. So, but if you really, really wanted to pump your weapon damage, you could do it with an infused trait and a weapon or spell damage on top. Now, Something to keep in mind is you're going to be dropping your maximum stat because you're using both. You're removing both any maximum stamina recovery off the ring, but also removing the base stamina or the base magicka. So you're dropping your total pool. That may have an effect on how much damage you do as well. These sorts of things will need to be tested. It could be expensive to test. Test on the PTS server. Yes, indeed. Okay, so then we have the protective. So it drops through Undaunted. So it increases your physical and spell resistances. Could be quite good for tanks. But once again, you're losing your healthy stat off here. So you're actually dropping your total health, stamina, and magicka pools by replacing your trait on your jewellery, so keep that in mind. The Swift increases movement speed by 9%. I think the original idea with this is like farming, either stealing or farming nodes. That could be pretty good, especially if you're not actually in any combat situations. Pretty good. I mean, yeah, don't forget there is a total speed cap. If you're already wearing speed gear, maybe this is not worthwhile in addition to that. So Harmony, this is the trait that drops on trials, increases damage. Basically, synergies are 30% better. So pretty good. Could be pretty good. But once again, dropping your total stat. Is this something that this is better than? And Bloodthirsty increases damage done against enemies under 25%. Health by 18%. Pretty good. I'm interested to know if this stacks. So if you put on 3 Bloodthirsty traits on 3 rings, is that going to do 18 times 3% more damage? I don't know. I don't know. Look, even one ring is actually fairly significant. So 18% extra damage is pretty decent. And I think you could probably safely sacrifice 1 ring. Certainly in a PvP situation if you're a damage dealer. Maybe even 2. And certainly in a big group, I think that's probably worthwhile because you've got your healers and everybody else to keep you alive. So that... And then that falls back to something I've talked about in the previous videos, is the thing you should be focusing on is not necessarily trying to train all traits. The thing you should be focusing on is the one trait you're really, really interested in and finding something in that, researching it, learning it, and then transmuting your jewellery to that trait. And possibly doing a different trait on every character. So right up front, you can pick whatever you like, transmute whatever you like. So, and then gradually over time, over the something like 270 days, I think, to fully research everything, you'll be able to do it all on one character. So, now the 270 days, that sounds like a long time, and it is. Keep in mind that the research, unlike the other crafting, you can't research both a ring and you can't research 2 things simultaneously. So, for example, you can research a sword and a helm simultaneously and like a couple of other bits and pieces. This is not an option with jewellery crafting. You can only research a ring or a necklace. So you're doubling the total length of the time to research everything. So yeah, do focus on researching what you want straight up. If you can't, do think about how long it's going to take to research those first couple of things. Focus on those. Maybe do it on multiple characters if you need to. And then don't forget to save your transmute stones for when Summerset launches if you're planning to transmute something. And I really think this Triune, that looks pretty amazing and is probably the way to go. Maybe not for tanks. Maybe the total health pool is more important. But for everybody else, that increases all their pools. Like if you transmute the 3 rings, I think that's fine. So yeah, or at least 2. You're getting just as much. probably, almost, kind of. It works out. No, you're not getting just as much. I've been thinking about it the wrong way. It's still pretty good. I still think that one, Triune, Infused, and probably Bloodthirsty, depending on you, are the ones you want to be researching. I hope that's been helpful to you. Let me know in the comments below what you're going to be researching first and why. I'm curious to know. I have talked about this in comments before. If any of these traits are something you're really interested in, but you're going to find it hard to get, let me know, because I do trials on occasion now. I definitely PvP. We can work something out if they're not accessible for you. I can make rings for people as required, and then you deconstruct to learn, research to learn stuff. We can do something. It's not a problem. So let me know in the comments if you need help. And once it goes live, we'll work out how it works. So please, if you haven't, subscribe here, click the face. That would be wonderful. Please check out all of the other videos. Please do. That would be wonderful. And I will talk to you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.